The way the NBA works is different from the rest of the world's basketball leagues. The draft balances the competition, allowing the worst teams to pick the best rookies, with the intention of changing the course of the franchise. That's why some teams in the league decide not only not to compete, but to try to lose as many games as possible. These seasons are a terrible experience for fans, who come to the arena to watch their team lose time and time again. However, with a little patience, any team can exponentially increase its expectations in a short period of time. Years of struggling have allowed these franchises to have the best young cores in the NBA, and that is precisely what we are going to analyze in this video. The Houston Rockets have been one of the most talked about teams this offseason. After 3 of the worst seasons in franchise history in a row, with 17, 20, and 22 wins during the regular season, Houston will finally have the opportunity to try to fight for the playoffs in the tough Western Conference. The team has been out of contention since the departure of Harden, but this rebuilding process has allowed them to acquire talented players such as Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., or Jabari Smith Jr. However, the most interesting piece that Houston has discovered has been Alperen Sengun. The Turkish center has had a great season, averaging 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists per game at only 20 years of age. However, this core was not enough to compete, at least for the time being. That is the reason why the Rockets have shelled out an annual $63 million for the reinforcements of Fred VanVleet and Dillon Brooks, an undoubtedly very high amount for the contribution of these players, who, however, will have a much more important role in influencing the young players. Amen Thompson and Cam Whitmore completed the rotation through the draft, thanks to being 2 players with great potential that Houston will be able to use from the start of their careers. The Rockets once again have their eyes on the play-in instead of the draft lottery. This season will undoubtedly be an opportunity to show what they are capable of, and will determine their title chances in the midterm future. Odds to NBA champions, plus 35,000. The Orlando Magic have always been the franchise of the perennial rebuilding project. Over the past 11 seasons, they have only managed to qualify for the playoffs twice, and in both situations they were eliminated in the first round. Their top picks in each draft have traditionally resulted in players with limited NBA potential. Examples such as Mario Hezonja, Aaron Gordon, Jonathan Isaac, or Mo Bamba demonstrate this sporting failure. Moreover, good picks like Victor Oladipo or Domantas Sabonis did not fully explode until they left the Florida franchise. However, this trend may have partially changed after the choices of the last few years. Paolo Banchero has had one of the most underrated rookie seasons in recent years, being one of the most creative players to come to the NBA lately. Cole Anthony is also a scorer who has had a decent start in the league, showing signs of potential. But Orlando's big break would also come in this draft, where they acquired the services of Anthony Black at pick number 6 and Jet Howard with pick number 11. Jet is the son of Juwan Howard, who played the 2003 to 2004 NBA season with the Orlando Magic. The small forward is a great shooter from the perimeter, both off the dribble and catch and shoot. This resource is especially needed in today's NBA, so he could look to have a significant role in his first season. Anthony Black, on the other hand, will offer the Magic a completely opposite role. He has great size for a point guard, coming in at 6 feet 6 inches tall and with great defensive skills. If he improves his outside shooting, Black will be a prize player for any franchise in the league. Odds to NBA champions, plus 35,000. The case of the New Orleans Pelicans is a bit strange. The team has all the tools to step up to be a powerhouse in the Western Conference, but they have not been able to so far. In today's NBA, the hardest thing to do is to get a superstar of Zion Williamson's level. However, injury problems coupled with his off-the-court issues have meant that he has had little continuity during his career. Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum have proven to be first-rate complements to a superstar, but they are not capable of leading a franchise on their own. The Pelicans have interesting pieces like Trey Murphy III, who has made a huge progression in just one season, showing a very high accuracy in the outside shooting. Or like Dyson Daniels, who, like Anthony Black, is a very tall point guard with a great defensive ability. All these talents have been joined by Jordan Hawkins, last pick 14 of the last draft, who has very similar basketball conditions to Jet Howard. He is an accurate shooter who will have to develop his defensive game. The entire New Orleans fan base wants to see the draft go forward with Zion, but the superstar seems to be a cause for doubt with his decisions. If he stays healthy and focused, the Pelicans should be a clear candidate for a playoff berth, or at least a play-in. Odds to NBA champions, plus 4,300. Our next team on the list is the San Antonio Spurs. Greg Popovich has just signed his contract to continue at the helm of the Spurs for the next 5 seasons in exchange for a multi-million-dollar fee. So the world is waiting to see what the franchise's next steps will be. Just as the Spurs roster is one of the most upside-heavy in the league, it is also one of the most capable to disappoint. The cause of this is that all the hype for the team revolves around Victor Wembanyama. The French center has already shown extraordinary qualities during his short career, but the high expectations of the fans could be a hindrance to his success. Because beyond Wemby, the Spurs don't have a player who can make the leap in quality needed to lead a franchise. Keldon Johnson is an excellent young player who still needs to mature. Devin Vassell, Trey Jones, and Jeremy Sohan are young role players who could become key pieces on a top team, but they also don't have that scoring instinct. The Spurs, however, are going to have 30 draft picks over the next 5 seasons to fill out the rotation and find gems in the draft, plus huge amounts of free money to lure some free agent that connects with San Antonio's philosophy. The Spurs should not be expected to make the playoffs this season due to the difficulty of the conference, but they could surprise more than one by being in contention for some stretch of the season. Odds to NBA champions, plus 25,000. In the first position, and how could it be otherwise, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. Sam Presti is without a doubt one of the best general managers in NBA history, and he has proven that by giving relevance to a small market team like Oklahoma for more than a decade. The team already has one of the best players, not only among the young players but in the entire league. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been All-NBA First Team this season with averages of 31 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. In addition, last year's number 2 pick in the draft, Chet Holmgren, was unable to make his debut during his rookie season due to a foot injury, in a case identical to that of Cameroon's Joel Embiid. But his potential, along with that of his other teammates, is frightening. The Thunder have Josh Giddey, Jalen Williams, Luguentz Dort, or Isaiah Joe, who are very complete and complementary players, capable of forming a solid block on which to build a dynasty. Oklahoma's expectations are much higher than any other team in this video, except maybe the Pelicans. This season, they have to make a big leap that should make them a breakout team. A team with a player of Shai's talent should have no problem earning a spot in the Western Conference playoffs. These teams are under construction. But in every successful franchise, there is a season where players have to step up to change the culture of the team, not only to be able to attract better players through free agency, but also to create an atmosphere of success in the locker room to support the most important moments of the season. Think of all the past champions who have won their titles by keeping the core. Milwaukee, Denver, or even the Golden State Warriors had to lose many times in the playoffs to understand what it means to be a contender for the most important championship in the world.